You sit here and crawl, oh, and not a damn tear came out of your face.
I am about to show you a masterclass in interrogation.
You know what crocodile tears are? That's like the absence of tears. Grief, you can't fake it.
These detectives cut through a murderer's lie.
If you were watching this on a TV show, laying in bed right now, drinking a beer, you'd say, man, that'd be fun.
She said she didn't want you anymore?
He acted like a grieving husband after his wife was found dead in a bathtub in her house. But these detectives knew the truth. How they got this killer to crumble. We're on the case presented by Law&Crime. I'm Chris Stewart. It's always amazing to see a lie fall apart. In so many of these interrogations, we see suspects who think they have outsmarted the police. The story on the surface, it may sound good, but when the foundation of that story is a lie, it comes crashing down.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna go so far as to say that you are a monster.
This is that suspect's wife. Her name was Jesika Taylor-Sullivan. She was a mom to 2 girls, and she was found dead in her apartment on a spring day in Alvin, Texas, south of Houston. Police say they found Jesika, quote, bent over the side of the tub, face down, with her head and shoulders submerged in the tub water. They pulled her out after realizing she was cold to the touch and was full of rigor. They set her down on the bathroom floor. Police found Jesika because they were called to her house for a welfare check. Her daughters didn't show up at school that day, so people were concerned. When police arrived, they say that Jessica's 9-year-old daughter answered the door around 10 o'clock in the morning, and that girl led police to where she said her mom was, in the bathroom, and police found the door locked. Now, Jesika had an estranged husband, and that man's name is Brandon Garrett. Garrett had allegedly assaulted Jesika days before her death. So police had a warrant for his arrest related to that incident, and they brought him in.
Yes.
Okay. Can you tell me a little bit about that? Do you want to tell me a little bit about that?
Yes. Basically, while we're here, I do suffer from manic bipolar. We call that depression.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to. You have to speak up a little bit. Kind of hard to hear.
I do suffer from manic bipolar depression disorder.
Okay.
And over time, if I let things I don't treat it, I black out sometimes, and things happen that I actually don't. It happens out of nowhere, then I'm back to normal like nothing happened. It happens. I'm not excusing it. I accept fault that happened, and it happened on Monday or Sunday. Sorry, it happened on Sunday.
Okay.
My wife told me that I broke her loose. That's why I got the scratches on my arm. I broke my front door, and I choked her. When I came to realize what was going on, I stopped. I let her leave and go to her mom's house, and that's what happened on that incident. It was provoked, and that's the last thing my wife and I talked about.
You said it was provoked?
So Brandon starts out acting like an honest guy. He admits that he lost it on Jesika on Sunday, that he actually choked her. He admits to this to police, obviously a terrible crime, but police then ask about the last time that he spoke to his estranged wife before she was found dead Wednesday morning.
The last night I talked to my wife, which was Tuesday. She was on the phone. We FaceTimed each other. And she just kept saying, I'm sorry, it's my fault. I provoked you, I did it. Our life is over. That's how she kept saying, our life is over. Our life is over, and I'm sorry, it was my fault. And I kept saying, no, it's not your fault. She's like, no, I love you, it's my fault, I did this to you. And I was like, I kept telling her, no, it's not. I was like, I'm gonna check myself until I go to the hospital. And she just kept saying, my family's gonna disown me because I don't wanna let you go because I love you.
What a story. He claims that Jesika was apologizing to him after the domestic assault, And he says that he was not at her house, that after they got into that fight on Sunday, he went to stay with a friend.
And when I woke up this morning, I just remember waking up like around early, like 3, and I just felt this cold feeling in my body, and I just texted her, like, "Are you okay? What's going on?" And I got no response. I got no responses. I've been texting her all day. I've been calling her.
So Brandon's really putting on, to an extent, like a grieving husband. He even claims that he had some odd chill in the middle of the night when he woke up because he just knew that something was wrong.
At any point during all this, if you were concerned about her welfare, why didn't you contact the police department?
The only and I was thinking about that too. Officer Hill, I was thinking about calling him, but like I said, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't want to send them to a panic, so I'd rather have somebody else go over there, because Officer Hill was I was supposed to let me know when there was a warrant issue, because I had no idea that the warrant had been open. I had no idea, but he told me that he was going to, so I was like, I don't want to make it seem like I'm stalking her. So I was.
So you called when you called the school. Did you mention something to them about the conversation that you had had with her the night prior to about her being suicidal?
The only thing, suicidal. It's with her. I didn't really think that she would go through to do anything. So the last thing I thought was suicidal. I thought she was just gonna up and leave, because she kept saying that she was gonna up and leave. She was gonna reroute, like before, like when she was still like in her mad stage. That's what she was saying, that she was gonna uproot. So I wanted to make sure if she was gone, I wanted to make sure before I went back to the house. And because other than that, I knew eventually I was trying to give her some space. That's pretty much what it was.
I mean, that is such a wishy-washy answer to a pretty straightforward question. Police then start laying out the facts of what they say they found.
If it wasn't a homicide, or if she wasn't killed by someone, then what happened?
I don't know what she did. I wasn't at the house. I asked how was she found, what happened. I don't have any knowledge of anything, so I couldn't give an answer to what she did. I just know that she was upset the last time I talked to her.
Well, she was found face down in a full bathtub. That's how she was found. And she didn't just fall in that bathtub. She didn't put herself down in that bathtub. Her face was in the bathtub, and the other half of her body was outside of the bathtub. So you can imagine how that looks. I know that you've mentioned suicide several times, not only to the school, but to Detective Jackson in here. It's not a suicide. So if we're being honest, and it's not you, if you didn't have anything to do with it, then who did? You're her husband. You know her. You know her contacts. You know her friends.
I don't know her. I don't know a lot of her friends.
Okay.
You've been together been married since November, correct?
She's going to tell you. She's going to tell you things as her husband about people she doesn't like, people that don't like her. If there's something that bad, she probably would have known about it. Who was pissed off enough at your wife to do that to her? telling you it was not accidental. She didn't do it to herself. Those two little kids in that apartment didn't do it to her.
Brandon, this is your opportunity to be honest.
I've been honest with you the whole time.
Let us know what's going on.
I've been honest with you the whole time. The whole time. I've been honest with you the entire time.
I don't think you have been honest.
I have, yes.
Because for one, 95% of this time that we've been talking to you, you haven't looked at us. You stared at the ground the whole time. You've only looked when you want to see our reaction to things that you say. That's the only time that you've looked at us. Yes.
No, that's not true, sir.
Yes, sir, it is. This is not my first rodeo. No, it's not yours. But there's things that we look for that are indicative that someone's not telling us the truth. So far, man, you've been spot on almost every one of them.
I have a problem with that.
So this is your opportunity. Maybe you made a mistake. Maybe something bad happened. Maybe y'all had an argument. We don't know. We need you to fill in those details. But if you want to play games, and if you want to say that I don't know what happened, I wasn't there, and later on we get results from the autopsy, we get your cell phone records, we get all this evidence that says otherwise, it's not going to be good for you, man.
Police then start to press.
You know what I think happened? I think you messed up. I don't think you meant to do anything to your wife. Just judging by the way you've acted all day, by the way you're acting now, I think you know you screwed up. You did something stupid, you went a little too far. And now your wife's dead because of it. I mean, you're only telling yourself, no, you didn't do it. You're not telling me that.
I just don't want to be blamed for this.
You what?
I just don't want to be, now I'm being blamed for this. That's why I was like, when you told me that I'm coming to have questions, I was like, questions. Like, I wasn't even there.
Well, Brandon, you're married to her, and you're gone. I'm getting information that you're making some strange phone calls that you normally don't make. When I do talk to you on the phone, you tell me you're going to be here. After you find out that your wife's deceased, and then you drive around for another 5 hours, and you tell us that you were afraid. If I just found out that my wife was dead, I would have been there as quickly as I possibly could have.
When I was on my way, when I got back to my car, I was on my way out here as soon as I possibly could.
Hey man, Brandon, stop. Stop. Feeding us the lines, playing games. Detective Jackson is right. Any normal person, they found out their wife was dead, warrant or not, whether or not you knew you had a warrant or not, you're still gonna go to the police and try to find out what the hell happened.
Police now start digging in on the alibi where Brandon says that he was at a friend's house.
So the person that you claim to have been staying with for the last 48 hours since you and your wife got into that fight on Sunday. What would you tell me if I told you that we've already spoken to that person? And that person actually reached out to us and basically told us that you're full of it, that you haven't been over there, you haven't been staying with her, and she don't want anything to do with any of this, and that you're lying about that.
That wouldn't be true.
That wouldn't be true?
No, sir. She didn't say that. I know she didn't say that.
Yeah, she did. get caught up in this mess.
I'm not saying you hadn't spoken to that person, because clearly you have. But I don't think that person would call us and say, look, I don't know what's going on. I don't want to be involved in it. I don't know what he's telling you guys. I want my name cleared of this situation.
That part I know that's not true, because
Whatever it is that you put in your head that you were going to tell us today, whenever you knew it was inevitable that you're going to have to speak to us. I know you're smart enough to know that. But whatever story that you have in your head is not jiving. It's not going to work.
Brandon sticks with this story that he had no idea what happened for an hour and a half of interrogation, but he wasn't done. Police would hold him overnight. Then the next day, they talked to him again, and this is where he folds.
I'm about to go play sports. Blew my ACL twice. I was a wide receiver.
Football?
Yes, sir. I was going to go to either OU, Texas Tech, Louisiana Tech, or one more. I can't think of it.
How tall are you now?
6'1".
How tall are you? Were you in your senior year of high school?
I was like 6 foot.
Yeah.
I like doing the inch only.
How much did you weigh?
In my prime, I tore my ACL in my junior year, but in my prime I was 185.
Don't you wish you'd be 185 again?
Yeah, going to 439, 40, 10 to 100.
How'd you blow your ACL? Coming down, getting tackled, or what?
Freak accident, no one touched me. It was in spring practice. I was running, and the doctor even said itself that I was basically running faster than what my body could take. When I took a cut on my knee, I caught the ball, and to cut upfield, my body turned, my leg didn't.
You just rotated it.
It popped.
Was that during a game or training or
It was
practice?
spring practice. It was 7-on-7.
Oh, that's messed up.
And my Texas Tech coach was there watching. But I wanted to go. I would have played with Danny Amendola. But Danny Amendola went to the Woodlands. And we came out the same year, and Danny Amendola and I would have been on the same team.
So this detective starts out pretty slow. He asks Garrett about glory days of high school football. Garrett then goes on with the same story that we heard the day before, that he assaulted Jesika on Sunday, then went to stay with someone else for a couple of days, talked to Jesika on FaceTime Tuesday night, and then found out on Wednesday that she was dead. But it's now day 2, and police are not going to play this game again.
And your phone connected with the Wi-Fi Tuesday night. And the only way your phone could have connected to the Wi-Fi of that apartment is you'd had to have been pretty close to it.
No, my phone.
Hold on. Okay. That's what the records are showing. I haven't looked at them. Detective Jackson has. That's what he told me. So is there an explanation why, if you weren't there, why your phone would have?
Because I have an app on my phone, and what I can do is I can check all the hi-fi. It's called Xfinity Hi-Fi. And that could be possibly why, because I can look and see what's connected to the Wi-Fi from my Wi-Fi, and I hit that app a few times the night before. I always use that.
What do you mean you hit that app?
When you hit the app, I guess it probably connects to my phone wasn't actually connected to the Wi-Fi. It was connected to the app. As a
yeah, but no, your phone was connected to the app, to the
right,
Wi-Fi.
my phone. Yeah, my phone has the app is on my phone.
But it's not through the app. It just automatically synced with the Wi-Fi.
Oh no, my phone wasn't. I wasn't there. So. I mean, what time would it say that?
I think it was. And I don't know. Don't hold me to this. I want to say it was around 10 or after 10 at night. The license plate readers picked your car up coming to Alvin about 9 o'clock. You were at.
It was off at 288. I forgot I can get the cross section. It was off
10 o'clock.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that.
Oh, I didn't drive my car tonight.
You said nobody else drives your car.
Right, no, but I wasn't.
Okay, hold on a second now. This is technology, okay? I don't understand it, but other people do, and they tell me that this is good, okay? You and I talked earlier. I mentioned that part of getting to your mental health is accepting responsibility. If Zoe were sitting in this room right now, your 5-year-old daughter, if she was sitting in this room right now, and she knows what happened, she knows everything that took place this week, what do you think she'd be thinking now listening to you tell me this?
About what part?
About that you weren't on 288, that your phone didn't connect with the Wi-Fi Tuesday night.
If Zoe was here with me, she would believe me, but that's the truth.
But what if Zoe knew the truth?
I didn't drive my car.
Are you saying somebody else drove your car?
No, I didn't drive my car that night. I didn't leave. I didn't come to Alvin on Tuesday.
So I'm not a body language expert, obviously, but you can see that Brandon has this kind of expression of a man whose lie is falling apart in real time. He's slumped over and he's mumbling his words.
At some point, you're going to be looking at a judge or a jury, and they're going to say, this is Brandon Garrett, this is what he did, and Brandon says he didn't do it, and this is all the evidence we have that says he did it. But when we asked him about it, he says, I wasn't there, didn't do it, don't know what happened. Okay? But there's another scenario where you go before a judge or a jury, and this is Brandon Garrett, and this is what he did, and when we asked him about it, Brandon said it was a bad thing. He made a big mistake. He let his mental illness get the better of him. He wasn't taking his medication. He kind of flipped out. She pushed his buttons, and he got carried away. And he's so sorry. He wished he could make it all go away and that everything could be good again, but he knows it can't. And he'll do whatever he can to those two girls to make their lives right. Okay? Now let's say you're the judge. Which one of those two guys are you going to give a break to? The first one doesn't know anything, wasn't there? Or the other one that said he made a big mistake, he got carried away, his emotions, his mental health got the best of him? Which one of those two guys are you going to give a break to? Are you going to cut any slack to? Huh?
Obviously, the guy that told the truth.
And which one of those guys would you make an example of then? The first one or the second one? Huh? You would make an example of the second one? The one that told the truth? The first one? That's human nature, Brandon. That's how, it doesn't matter if you're a judge or a jury or a cop or a construction administrator. That's human nature. That's how we all perceive things. We all want to believe that there's good in people. No one wants to believe, like Detective White said, that there are monsters in the world. So if you're a monster, you're a monster. If you're not a monster, then you need to tell us that you're not a monster. I believe you. I believe you 100% when you tell me that. I believe that your mental illness, your lack of being on your medication, the emotions, the fact that you were going to lose a wife and maybe a family again. What happened, Brandon?
I don't know what happened.
Take a deep breath. Tell us what happened. Brandon, tell us what happened.
I don't know what happened.
Brandon, you're the only one here that knows what happened.
I don't know what happened. That's what I'm trying to tell you guys. I don't know what happened.
Here is where the truth starts to come out.
And like I said, Brandon, look at me for a second. This isn't me playing tricks. Sometimes I have to ask questions that I already know the answers to, but this is your statement. This is, I don't want to put here and put words in your mouth ever to somebody. That's not fair to that person. So I have to let you say it, not me. So she wanted, you said you're driving down 6 on Tuesday, and because she wanted to see you. So she wanted to see you, and then, and where did you go from 6? Which obviously I know, I just have to get your statement.
Driving to the house.
I can't hear you.
I was just riding.
And when you got there, where did you park at the apartment complex on Tuesday night?
She told me not to text her to come in for a while because Janine was still away.
Okay. Did you have a key or was the door unlocked?
She unlocked it. I gave her my key on Monday.
She unlocked the door, and what was the first words out of her mouth?
I didn't talk to her.
Okay, so she unlocked the door, and then where did you go from there? Or you walked in, where did you go from there?
I walked in, I saw that her bedroom door was locked.
You saw her bedroom door locked, and then what happened from there?
I didn't go in the bedroom. That's why I
Was she in the bedroom?
I assume, I don't know. That's why I just, what was that? Wednesday, that's all day I kept checking on everybody. I didn't know what was going on.
Brandon, look at me for a minute. If you have to judge somebody, and you're sitting there judge or jury, is that going to fly with Brandon? It's not. You know it's not.
I mean, but it's the truth. I know it sounds crazy. That's why I was just like, then I don't
Look at me. There's no such thing as crazy. It's people that need help, that need meds, that have issues. We all do. And you don't get past it. And yeah, this is gonna suck for a little while, but it gets better. You will see the daylight, but you won't see the daylight if you refuse to get rid of that dark cloud. You know that. You know that.
Brandon admitted that he was at Jessica's house, but he's still not being entirely truthful about what happened.
Think about you walking through the door. And like Detective Taylor said, I'm not saying you are lying. I know it's hard to bring up painful memories. And this would be an extremely painful memory. I know that.
You ain't gonna get past it unless you do.
So, walking through the door, tell me what happened to you, please.
I just remember my bag was sitting in the living room. And I popped the light on to see the bag, and my bag was sitting in the living room.
In her room?
No, in the living room. I asked her to put it in there. Well, I asked her to make sure my bag was in there because I left it. And then I turned the light off once I saw it so I wouldn't trip over it. Because it was behind, when you walk in, it was the pink mat that used to be in the girl's room, but she put it in front of the door. And I would have tripped over it if I had turned on the light. And then I walked towards the room and I knocked on the door. And when I knocked on the door, I was like, "Hey, can I see you?" She was like, "No." I was like, "Babe, I want to see you." She was like, "No, just go." So I sat on the couch. And then I had my spare key. And I picked it up off the table. And I closed and locked the door and I left.
No.
Tell us about the argument that you had.
We didn't have an argument.
The neighbors heard. Please tell us about the argument you had.
We didn't have an argument. We had an argument.
Discussion, then, if you would call it a discussion.
There was no screaming match, no nothing.
Well, then tell me what happened. So you're telling me, let me get this straight, because this is what a quarter judge or jury would hear. You're telling me that there was no screaming match.
No.
You're telling me that there was no argument. So what you're telling me is you snuck in there and killed her. What you're telling me is you snuck in there and killed her like a serial killer would.
No, sir.
You're not telling me you did it out of sudden passion, which is a defense.
No, sir.
You didn't do it out of sudden passion. You didn't do it out of anger. You did it because you're evil, is what you're telling me. Because there's no doubt what you did.
No, sir.
So you're not, you did, there was no sudden passion. There was no, can I tell you this? He has seen me angry. We've worked a lot of stuff over the years and we're pretty close. And he has seen me lose it and do something in sudden passion. Everyone does, is my point. I have. He has. Everyone can get angry. Not to that point, but everyone can get angry, including you. People can understand someone that loses it in anger. People can't understand someone that sneaks in and kills someone while they're sleeping.
I don't believe he did that.
I don't either, and that's what I'm trying to get you from
That's
your
all we got
screaming.
that's the only thing that we can present at this moment, because
I don't believe that.
you're not even telling us.
I don't believe you're that evil. I don't. But
Because you know what, let me tell you something, the district attorney of Missouri County is a woman. And whenever there's a female victim involved, she is a strict dad. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's how you're going to be presented, as an evil person.
well,
I don't believe you are. Detective White doesn't believe you are. But you're telling us that's what happened. This is you know, this is an opportunity for you to tell your side of this, instead of us just going on what evidence and facts tell us. Because the evidence and facts don't tell emotions.
He finally breaks.
and if you didn't sneak in to say, ooh, I'm this evil person, I'm going to go kill her, and you didn't do that, then what's fair is for your side of the story to come out. That's what's fair.
Do you think that what happened wasn't intentional? Or that you're not a monster? Do you think that you're not a monster? Do you think it's important that you tell your side of the story? Or you just keep acting like nothing happened between you? I wouldn't be shaking your head no at this point.
I'm sorry, I don't even understand the question. I'm just...
What happened? What was the altercation that happened between y'all two? What button did she push?
Tuesday night in her bedroom, what
That's
happened?
the question.
And don't say you just didn't talk and you left. Because we know that's not the truth. And what's more important is we know that that's not the truth. So you're not sitting here BSing us.
And
You're lying to yourself, if anything.
We haven't lied to you at all, Brandon, about anything. This really is important for your future. That if there's a mitigating circumstance there, then you have to be the one that says it.
Was this on purpose or was it accidental? Just give me that much. Was it on purpose or accidental? Brandon, was it on purpose or accidental? Brandon, don't hide behind your hands. Was it on purpose or accidental? Brandon, was it on purpose or accidental? You know that makes all the difference in the world, don't you? Brandon, was it on purpose or accidental?
You alright?
Brandon, was it on purpose or accidental?
She told me to.
I can't hear you.
She told you to?
Who told you to? Brandon, look at me for a second. Brandon, look at me. Brandon,
Who told you?
tell me, answer this.
said she told
Was
you
it on
to.
purpose or accidental? Was it on purpose or accidental?
She said she didn't want to live anymore.
She
Huh?
said she didn't want you anymore?
Live. She don't want to live anymore.
She didn't want to live anymore.
She said to it and take care of the girl that she didn't need to live no more.
You saying she wanted you to kill her?
She said her family disowned her.
You said her family disowned her?
She said that's all she had was her family and me.
Was it intentional or was it accidental?
It was accidental. I didn't.
So how did it happen accidentally?
I guess she was from the injury prior on Monday or Sunday night. Excuse me. Sunday night. It was. She pressed her hands against mine. Her neck against my hand.
On Tuesday? She pressed her neck against your hands on Tuesday? Tell me what happened then. Let's go back to when you walked in the door. Tell me what happened.
I walked in the door and we were speaking and she was crying.
You walked in the door and what? I couldn't hear you, sir.
She was crying.
Please sit up. So
she was crying? Yeah, okay. And then what happened?
Crying and she kept saying repeatedly she didn't want to live no more.
She was saying she didn't want to live anymore?
She kept saying her family disowned her, was going to disown her. She took me back and she said she loved me. And I've done everything for her.
So what happened?
We were sitting by the restroom, we were standing eventually, but I was sitting beside the bed, on my side of the bed talking to her. And my side of the bed is the side with the big nightstand. I don't know if you were in there. If you're looking at the bed, the left side of the bed, that's my side.
Okay.
And I was sitting on that side and we were talking. And she was saying she don't want to lose me. She said, but she just doesn't want to live anymore. And I was like, what do you mean you don't want to live anymore? And she walked over, picked my hand up, and walked me to where the restroom. And it was already water in the bathtub. And I was like, I'm thinking she would take a bath. She was like, no.
You were thinking what?
It was water in the bathtub, so I was like thinking she doesn't take a bath, and that was weird when she takes showers. I felt like that was weird already in itself. And I was like, well, what's wrong? And she looked in the mirror, and to look at her face, she was crying like I've never seen her cry so hard and so much. And she put my hand on her neck, and she said, I don't want to live anymore. And she started squeezing.
She started squeezing what?
She started squeezing my hand. At first they were just sitting here like that. Because I was trying to snatch it down. She was like, no, and I didn't want to snatch. She said, don't. And I put my hands up. And she just started squeezing my hand. She said, do it. And she stood there. And she said, do it. And she said, finish what you started because I can't live anymore.
How long did you squeeze her neck?
Not long at all.
What would be your guess?
Probably not even a minute.
So what happened then?
Well, she kind of like fainted and fell in the tub.
And then what happened?
And then, I don't know, after that, like she didn't move. It's like she was already gone. And it wasn't even that long.
So then what happened?
I just left the apartment. She told me to do it. I didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't do it long enough for it to happen. I don't think I did.
You want a glass of water or something?
Can you do me a favor? You want to eat? Can you show me on this box how hard you squeezed her neck? Just squeeze it. I don't care if you crush the box. I don't care if you crush it. Show me how hard you squeezed it.
Probably like that much.
That's that. You can crush that box as much as you want. I don't care.
It's probably like this. I felt that I think she already had a bruise from when I first did it, and I
From
think
Sunday?
I think I hit that bruise or whatever, or did something because I felt like this weird little.
Was it just like that? Is that how you're doing it?
Yeah.
Is that as hard as you squeeze?
That's
Okay.
about.
We're gonna get you glass. We'll be right back.
The story has changed in a big way. We now have established that Brandon killed Jesika, but his new story isn't entirely adding up. He claims that she asked him to choke her to death, and then she just falls into the tub. Now, police aren't buying that story because they say the forensics show that is a lie.
But I know what some of the things you've told us. Some of them are the truth, but some of them are not. I mean, like I said, man, the police can put together what happened. It's just the why, and that's the reason to give you that opportunity to say this is why, like Detective Taylor said, monster, or somebody that has some mental health issues.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here, and I'm gonna go so far as to say that you are a monster. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because you choked that girl out, shoved her head into that bathtub until she drowned. Then you politely and quietly grabbed your and you fled the scene. And then you sit here and cried crocodile tears about doing it. Because she told you to do it. Not only did she tell you to do it, she made you do it. She grabbed those big 6 foot, whatever you are, 300 and whatever pounds you are, and pressed your hands around her throat until she suffocated, until she strangled to death, and fell in that tub and drowned. You know what crocodile tears are? That's like the absence of tears. Grief, you can't fake it. You sit here and cry, oh, and not a damn tear came out of your face. You can't even be honest right now in this room and accept responsibility for what you did. You're going to sit there and lie bald-faced to 2 men that have a combined time in law enforcement of 62 years and try to convince us this little girl choked herself out with your hands and then fell in that bathtub and drowned.
I didn't say she choked herself out with my hands.
Huh?
I didn't say she choked herself out. I didn't think she did.
You're saying she pressed her hands in. And then she just blacked out. She fainted. And she fell in the tub.
But
she fell in the tub. You know what was in the bottom of that tub under her head? Blood. Blood. You know why there was blood? Because her face was hitting the bottom of that tub. Yeah.
No.
That's evidence, dude. I got pictures of that. Yeah. Yeah.
That's not what
you
happened.
might not be aware of it. That is what happened.
That's not what happened, sir.
Dude, don't sit here and tell me she fainted and fell in that bathtub
That's not what happened.
and drowned.
That's not what happened, sir.
Then tell me what happened. Because it ain't what you told me a minute ago.
That's what happened.
That's not what happened. That's not what happened. Just stop. Just stop. Brandon, you know that's not what happened. And you know you have not convinced us. You know what? I'm going to cut Detective White out because he's a nice guy. He wants to give you the benefit of the doubt. And I am beyond that at this point. You're a cold-blooded killer. You choked that girl out, held her head underwater until she drowned and strangled, and then you left the house real quietly. You were so concerned about your own that you couldn't even call 911, that you couldn't try to resuscitate her, that you couldn't pull her head out of the water. No, because you know once her head went in that water, she was dead. Because you held it under there until she stopped moving. And now you're sitting in here trying to convince 2 detectives she fell in the bathtub. This is the one I got to tell you again. Are you listening to the words that are coming out of your mouth? Do they stop and reflect and tell me if they make any sense to you? Huh? Huh?
Might not make sense on the outside, but
It don't make any sense because there's no sense to it.
the whole thing doesn't make sense. The whole reason, the whole case.
No. It might not. But what you're telling me is so far from not making sense.
Brandon Garrett was arrested and later convicted of killing his estranged wife, Jesika Taylor-Sullivan. Online court records show he is serving a life sentence in Texas State Prison. That will do it for On the Case, presented by Law&Crime. Subscribe to us on YouTube and Spotify, and we are also streaming on Peacock. I'm Chris Stewart. We'll see you next time.